Hello, and this is the Tformers.com news desk for the week of July 26th, 2012. This is where we run down the biggest news this week. I'm Peter Van.
And I'm JD Church.
Let's go to the news. So we've got in-hand shots of Transformers Generations China import, quote-unquote, Voyager hotspot, which shows off a brand new head mold as well as the G1 deco that the figure's getting.
Yes. This is nice. I mean, there's a lot of detail on this as well. I think even more so than I've got Grappel, and especially it's a lot more than Grappel. But it's got the things I'm looking for, right? It's got the hotspot logo. It's got a nice head mold. I wouldn't say it screams hotspot, but it's it's good enough. I mean, I'll take it. But no, this looks really nice. Like I wasn't as impressed with the Grappel Inferno mold, but man, this looks really good. If the US version of this is going to have the same paint apps and everything, which I hope it does.
It is, yeah.
I'll probably end up picking this up.
Yeah, according to at San Diego Comic-Con, they said that this will all be China import. So everything, including the Chinese lettering on the package, will stay about the same, which means that it will cost Hasbro absolutely nothing to bring it over to Toys R Us in October.
Perfect.
Yeah, so these figures will be available at Toys R Us in October. And you will be able to get essentially all of the figures that Asia will be getting.
Yeah, I got to do this in Wheelie. I think those are like the big two where it's like, that's what I've got to have.
That Wheelie. Whew.
So
sweet.
Yeah, I guess Grappel does have like a similar amount of paint app, but this looks a lot. I don't know. It just looks a lot better, especially with like the darkened windows and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Yeah. In other darkened colors, I don't know. That was a terrible segue. X-Transbots, which is a third-party company, will be doing a Galvatron third-party version called the Project X3 Tyrant. Many fans will be happy about this figure since the original G1 Galvatron was terrible.
This looks terrible. I don't know why anyone would be excited about it. I mean, it's better-ish, but the problem with it, just looking at it, is that, we're in a world now where, like, that Hercules set has come out, and that's really set, like, a whole new bar. And this looks like something that's third-party from, like, 5 years ago or so, whereas just looking at it, it doesn't look like it's going to measure up.
Yeah, it looks like a custom or something.
Exactly. Yeah, it does. It looks like a custom. I'll be interested. Brian maybe on the show will comment more on this because he's kind of a Galvatron fan. But I am not impressed. We'll put it that way. So,
all right.
But I'm not big on Galvatron either. So.
Well, how about this next piece of news that Impossible Toys will be making the Triangle G1 Cybertron Seekers. As you all know from the G1 film Transformers Transformers the movie, these guys were triangles.
No, just stop. More Than Meets the Eye, which was the pilot for Transformers, is what you're going for. And also the Tetrajets were also featured in there was another couple episodes that they were featured in. There were other TV versions, but this is mostly to the G1 television is what this is going for.
Right.
Sorry, I'm gonna help you. I helped you out there. See?
So no.
It's I'll say that. I mean, obviously we're looking at the renders here, but it doesn't look bad. I'm curious about the sizing. As far as like how big this is, I think that may sway me one way or the other. As far as what the size is. But, I mean, preliminary looks okay. The Tetrajet looks really great. I'm not too sure on the robot mode, mainly because it has that, like, Beast Wars kind of feel where it's basically like, and then you open the shell up and there's the robot. So, we'll see. I'm tentative on this. We'll see.
So we'll keep that at the tentative level. Okay, so how about TFC Toys coming back for another round? of the DSLR not reflector figure. This pays homage to Reflector
This
with an all new digital SLR look, and this image shows the image that you see to the right side of the screen is different figure elements coming apart, combining. Of course, there will be some sticker applications and things like that. So
yeah, this looks good. I mean, like I said, we're only seeing like the bits of the camera parts here. But, you know, I mean, obviously going for the digital SLR look, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, it's not like the look of cameras has changed a lot, but I'm seeing elements just in this bit that does look like, again, you know, like I said, we're in this world where like the Hercules and stuff has come out. This looks to be fitting in with that, you know, that idea. So
I mean, it is the same company, so hopefully
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so this
level
looks
of
good. Like
quality,
I'll be interested to see what the pricing is, because I might be interested in this if the pricing is right.
yeah.
So we'll
We'll
see.
see. You know, it's getting new logos and new robot modes and things like that. So it'll be very interesting to see the final look. And scale wise, it appears that it's going to be in sync with um, you know, like a regular camera. So it'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the scaling since there's nothing to compare it to.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Um,
If you take a look, there's a if you take a look at the image, just pasted it into the show notes. Take a
Oh,
look at
okay.
that. It is displayed with a human being, actually holding the camera. So
How did I miss this? Where did it go?
yeah, that was linked. It's my bad.
A link in. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's see here as we. Oh, okay, yeah. Huge difference there. Yeah, that looks.
Looks pretty cool.
Wow.
Looks pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
that's yeah. I might have to
You-
pre-order
I mean, the way it looks, you
that.
could, if you didn't know, you know, TFC was a toy third party, you know, toy maker from China, you could possibly believe that that guy was actually taking pictures.
Well, and that's the whole idea. I mean, that was the idea behind the original, you know, the original like Microman series. So, props to them. That looks really good, man. Be dropping money on this. I know it.
But yeah, so no release date yet, unfortunately, and no price. But in this quality, you know, TFC Toys puts out some pretty quality. They've been stepping up the game, like you said. They've been putting out some really good toys, and so it's probably gonna be a little on the pricier side, but probably in a pretty, you know, quality-wise, should be pretty good. Probably won't regret it quality-wise. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so Masterpiece Optimus Prime will hit Toys R Us whenever it comes out. Nobody knows yet because Hasbro has not told anybody, but it will cost $99.99.
99.99.
Are
Sweet.
you
Yeah.
out of your mind?
There had been a couple rumors, I guess, that came out earlier in the week that this was going to be wide release or the price was going to be higher.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's kind of like, I guess that was like well wishing because they said at BotCon that it would, and you were there. They said it at BotCon
Yeah.
that it would be a Toys R Us exclusive. So
and they
it's-
announced the price too. I thought they said there that it was going to be $100.
I
So
don't remember them saying a
I-
price specifically.
yeah, I won't swear to that, but I will swear to them saying that it was going to be at Toys R Us. So
Yes.
now it's
Yeah,
not to say
I
that
will-
doesn't
I will
change
swear to
because
that.
you know
Absolutely.
sometimes that changes. So I'll be fair, but you know, for something like this, it just doesn't seem like something that would be a wide release. I say that, and the other masterpiece was wide, but this you know, in this market, in this economy, I don't see a lot of other retailers going for it, and that's kind of you know, I think this is a good niche for Toys R Us, and I think this is a good match for Hasbro and Toys R Us. Just to stop on that point for a minute, because I think it, you know, it allows Toys R Us to be the more like high-end retailer, which is sort of what they were, you know, originally, and it, you know, it's going to allow the collectors and things to filter themselves to Toys R Us,
Right.
and it means that the other retailers don't have to worry about something that's higher priced like this that they may have a hard time selling. So,
Yeah.
props. No, this is, yeah, it's good news. I'm excited.
Very cool.
Get something
I
else
mean,
that I have to save $100 for.
I mean, the import price, currently on a lot of the online retailers is $250.
Yeah.
That's the low end. You could have something higher. So
Yeah, that's going to totally drop out. I expect that price to level out a little bit.
yeah. So if you can find it, it's a good deal. $100.
Yeah.
Better than 250.
Yeah.
If my math is correct, if my elementary math is correct.
Yeah, let's see. Is 100 better than 150, 250 in terms of paying? I think so.
I think so too.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully a lot of people will be spending this $100 on the Masterpiece Optimus Prime because Hasbro's net income for the second quarter dropped 25% when compared to last year. Led by the games and boy segment, which essentially means that Transformers has taken a nosedive.
Is this really a surprise, though? I mean, let's think about. I mean, most of Hasbro's income is Transformers right now, or a good chunk anyway. And last year was a movie year versus this year, which is not. Now they did have, like the Avengers movie, because they do have like those lines and Spider-Man, but I just don't see those as being as big of selling line for them as it would seem that those lines like replace existing lines, and I don't think their sales are any higher
Right.
in movie time versus not. Whereas with Transformers, when you have a movie year, you get a whole influx of new people buying stuff. So
Right.
I'm going to chalk most of this up to just the fact of the year over year from last year to this is the Transformers movie and some things,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, it dropped 8%. Marvel, the Marvel figures helped out a little bit, so it could have been worse.
they also pay a lot of marketing fees, or the licensing fees for that too. I would
Yeah,
think.
absolutely, absolutely.
So I'd wonder how much of that, Transformers is pure profit since they own it versus
Marvel, yeah,
the
right,
property lines.
right. Since they're paying Disney now, which means they're gonna just cut a pound of flesh off of them every time.
Right.
But the bright spot is that entertainment and licensing was up 59%.
It's
Thanks to
huge.
sales of television programs like My Little Pony.
Hey, so this is where we have to eat crow because we talked about the hub being a poor investment, a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. And, here's the proof where, things that, My Little Pony and stuff like that, things that are airing on the hub are finally getting some traction toy-wise.
Right.
So
right, yeah.
I'm sure even if the network is struggling a little bit, Hasbro is more than happy to keep those profits in-house.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely selling My Little Pony has definitely been selling like hotcakes abroad. They've been dubbing it and things like that all over the world. So it's been doing well. Transformers Prime, who knows? Not really. They kind of they lump together entertainment and licensing, so not really sure what.
Yeah, it's hard to parse
what.
that out, which is which. Yeah.
But
But no, like I said, I'm willing to give props that in the long term, that seems to be working out better for them. So,
yeah,
so good job, Hasbro.
yeah.
You knew what you were doing.
Your investment sort of paid off.
Sort of.
Okay. Well, finally UK Hasbro has done right by their British friends by releasing Transformers Prime Deluxe's Rumble and Cup in September. These two guys are coming out in Wave 5, which will be in September in the UK, and around the same amount of time in the States. While these two figures were the only two figures that were new and they were part of Wave 5. There is some conflicting information though. Some places, actually most places, are listing the solicitations for this case as Ironhide. It is pretty obvious though that the Cup figure is a repainted Ironhide. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It looks pretty similar in design to the Cyberverse Ironhide that we have seen before, with a different transformation, but just a green version of him. So, since we have not heard anything at BotCon or San Diego Comic-Con about an Ironhide figure, and Cup, as you see on the screen, was on display at Comic-Con, and most likely will be Cup There's probably some disconnect somewhere in between Hasbro and the solicitations department and their marketing department. Nobody really knows, but most likely in a couple, they will not repaint a green figure into a red figure, repackage it completely in a brand new packaging, and ship it out.
I am totally confused on this one because it would seem to make sense to put out the Ironhide. I don't know. I even at BotCon I was confused as to why they were going with Cup as the initial instead of Ironhide when that's such clearly a modern Ironhide mold.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. Well, again, Hasbro is smarter than me.
Yeah, I mean anything could happen, but all signs do point to Cup, since we have not seen anything or heard anything at these conventions regarding Ironhide.
Yeah.
So,
But we'll get the. I mean, I do not doubt that this will be an Ironhide at some point. It just doesn't seem like that's the initial release of it. And Rumble is going to be. We'll get a frenzy out of that too. I'm sure.
oh
so
yeah, I mean, come on.
not
If you don't,
not worried about that.
if you don't, then
So.
you should be crying like foul or something.
Yeah, I will.
But okay, well, that will do it for this week's edition of TFormers.com News Desk. I'm Peter Van,
And I'm JD Church.
and we will see you next time.